So you want to take a Disney cruise? Amazing choice. But before you get swept up into visions of tropical sunsets, Broadway-caliber shows, and unlimited free soft serve, you need to know this. Planning ahead is everything. Whether it's your first Disney cruise or your fifth, the timeline makes a big difference for price, availability, peace of mind, and getting the most out of your experience. There's nothing worse than finding out the stateroom you wanted is sold out or your must-do port adventure is fully booked. And that is where this comes in. This video comes in. We're going to walk you through what to book, when to book it, why it matters, and how a travel advisor can take the weight off your shoulders.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
Hi, my name is Christina, and I'm the owner of Showcase the World Travel, a modern travel agency dedicated to helping families take a break from the busy. And one of the reasons I started this company was because I wanted to help families develop cultural curiosity in their children, right? I wanted them to get out and explore. I love planning theme park vacations, but I wanted families to go beyond that. And so here at Showcase the World, we do a little bit of everything. We do a little theme park, we do a little cruising, and we do a lot of European adventure. But this video is about cruising. And the reason I was sharing that is because traveling to me is all about that discovering new cultures and things like that. And to me, cruising didn't offer that, right? So I didn't love cruising. I didn't like the idea of the ship being the destination. But then I had a daughter. I had my own daughter, and I started this company she was about 9 months old. We went on our first cruise when she was 3, and my resistance to cruising has completely disappeared. We now go on a Disney cruise once a year because it is the most magical type of travel for a family. We get family time together. We get to experience these incredible things together, but I also get time to relax. I get some adults only time in the spa. Disney Cruise Line gives the best facial I have ever had. And my daughter really lights up. She's an only child, so getting her into the kids club where she can meet other children and play games and really discover herself is just as valuable as discovering new places and new cultures. So cruising really is one of the best ways to travel as a family, except for the fact that it does need to be planned in advance because sailings do sell out. There's only a limited number of ships, and there's only a limited number of itineraries and a limited number of staterooms. So really, if you're thinking about taking a cruise during a school vacation week, during one of those higher booking times, if you're looking at a special destination like Alaska or the Med, you really need to be booking 12 to 18 months out. Why so early? Well, Disney Cruise Line prices are the lowest when itineraries are first released. As the ship fills, prices go up, and the best staterooms, midship connecting concierge, they disappear fast. This is especially true for holiday sailings, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, spring breaks and summer cruises, plus those bucket list destinations that I mentioned, Alaska, Europe, and Hawaii. And booking early isn't just about cost savings, it's about peace of mind. You'll have more time to think about what you want to do pre and post cruise. You'll get a chance to select the ideal stateroom for your needs and plan and budget without that last minute stress. Working with a travel advisor at this stage means that you get help comparing ships, dates, and cabin categories so you don't feel overwhelmed or stuck. Right? It's really hard to understand the difference between the different categories when there are things like 5A and 5B, which the only really difference is where they're located, or maybe there's some staterooms that have the split bath and some staterooms that don't. So really working with someone who knows the ships inside and out is going to be super important. Then when you're in that 9 to 12 month out time frame, that's when you want to start reserving flights, booking your travel insurance, those types of things. Once your cruise is booked, it's time to think about how you're getting there, right? And same thing, booking early on flights can help you save money, especially for those school breaks, give you the best choice of routes and flight times, and help you plan for those pre-cruise hotel stays if you want to arrive a day early. And yes, you should arrive early because weather and travel delays happen and you don't want to miss out on that trip. Travel insurance is a little bit more nuanced. If you want to cancel for any reason or you want pre-existing conditions covered, that does have to be booked within 2 to 3 weeks after you put down your deposit. But if that's not as important to you, this is when you should be comparing insurance plans, thinking about, do you want to add it through the cruise line? Do you want to do a third party? What type of coverage do you actually want, right? And travel insurance when you're traveling outside of the country is really important, especially on a cruise when you have the possibility of having to be medically evacuated. Getting back to your home can get costly. So life happens. Kids get sick, work emergencies pop up, and having that coverage means that you won't lose thousands if something unexpected forces you to cancel, right? So you really want to make sure you're choosing the right policy for your family, and this gives you the chance to do your research on that. Once you get to that 9-month period, you're about 6 to 9 months out, now you get to start thinking about your port adventures and shipboard experiences. Forget the boring stuff like travel insurance and flights, right? Now we get to decide, how do we make the magic personal? As your booking window opens, it's going to be based on your Castaway Club status. So Castaway Club status is how many times you sailed. So if this is your first time cruise, you're going to book a little bit after people who've sailed before you, but that's totally fine, because if you're working with a travel advisor, we're going to help make sure that you get exactly what you're looking for, right? And so you're going to start looking at port adventures. What are the excursions you're going to experience? If you're in Alaska, are you going to book that helicopter dog sledding bucket list experience? How do we balance that with the budget with some smaller ones, right? We have a really great video on the whole choosing your tour excursions, our kind of philosophy going into it, if that's something that's interesting to you. You're also going to be thinking about adult-only dinner reservations at Paolo, Remy, or if you are on one of the newer ships, Enchante. Spa appointments. Do you remember the facial I talked about at the beginning? You might want to make sure you get that booked when your window opens. There's a few other things that open a little bit after that, like character meet and greets, princess teas, and a couple of other activities if those are interesting to you. These experiences they fill up fast, especially on popular sailings, and some are only offered once or twice during your trip. So it's really important to know what you want going in and to be prepared to do that on the day it opens. Whether you're doing it or your travel advisor is doing it, it's really, really fun to think about what can you do to add personal meaning and surprise to your vacation, right? If it's a truffle hunt in Italy or a quiet massage while the kids are at the kids club. So your travel advisor can help remind you when your window opens. They can recommend which experiences are worth the splurge. They can walk you through the app and how to do the booking, or they can book it for you depending on what level of service they offer. And one last thing that you have to worry about. Once you get to that 3 to 6 month out, that's when you start getting your documents and packing list ready. This is where it starts to feel real. To avoid last minute stress, you're going to check your passport, make sure it's valid 6 months after your cruise return date. You're going to verify all of your guest information and travel documents. You're going to decide on your outfits. Are you heading to the Caribbean and you need to pull that swimwear out of storage? Do you have your costumes ready for pirate night, or if you're on a specialty sailing with a Marvel, Pixar, or Star Wars day at sea? And shopping early to avoid that week before your trip rush. If you're traveling with young kids, this is also the time to discuss expectations and rules, download movies and shows for the plane, and start a countdown to build excitement, right? Because you don't want to be counting down from 18 months out with kids who are going to ask every day if today is the cruise. So this is when we start our countdown. Your travel advisor can send you a customized packing list, tips for themed nights and dress codes, and links to order matching teas, fish extenders. They'll tell you what a fish extender is, or motion sickness remedies. Then when you get to that 30 days out, that's when you hit the big milestone of online check-in. You upload your travel documents and ID photos, you select your port arrival time, you choose your check-in options and health declarations. Port arrival times fill up quickly, so if you want to get there early boarding lets you hit the pool, buffet, or kids club signups before the crowds. Your advisor can help guide you through the process. This is something that typically they're going to recommend that you do on your own because it is sensitive information. It is passports, it is health requirements, it's allergies and things like that. So you doing it typically is the better option. Some travel advisors will do it for you, but they'll have a lot of stuff for you to fill out beforehand, depending on what your preference is. They'll remind you what to have ready. They'll make sure that you have that list so you're not scrambling when you're doing your online check-in. And they'll provide you with checklists to make it seamless. Then you're finally 1 week out. Time to double check everything, confirm your luggage tags and transfers, print your port arrival form, pack your carry-ons with your swimsuits and essentials because your luggage isn't going to arrive to your room until later. So anything you want during the day, you're going to want to make sure is in that carry-on for you. If you want a little bit of information about what that embarkation day looks like, we did a video on that. You're going to want to download your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. And if you're using a travel advisor, they'll send you a final checklist and boarding day plan so you know exactly what to expect. Then your cruise day, you've made it, you're ready, and boarding day can feel like a blur of excitement, logistics, and butterflies. Your travel advisor can make that smoother by sending you reminders, offering tips for your embarkation day strategy, and giving you a calm, confident, you got this vibe, so you start relaxed. And this is when you get to start to step back and let the magic take over. What happens if you wait too long? The short answer is things are a little bit harder. There's fewer staterooms to choose from, especially if you want adjoining rooms or concierge. Higher prices on everything. Port adventures and spa appointments are full, and it's harder to find good flights that are going to get you in the day before, give you plenty of time to exhale and take a breath before boarding your flight. And it's a little bit more stress for the planner in your party, whether it's your travel advisor or the designated planner. Typically mom is what I find. It doesn't mean you can't go, but it does mean that you'll need to be more flexible, possibly make some compromises. Booking early is not just for the type A parents. It's for anyone who wants the most value, the least amount of stress, and the greatest chance of making their cruise feel seamless. Why work with a travel advisor, right? Planning a Disney cruise is exciting, but it's also full of moving parts. A travel advisor can help you choose the right ship, itinerary, and stateroom. They can monitor for pricing and promotions. They can keep track of all of your important dates. They can help you with transfers and pre-cruise stays. They a lot of times have partnerships with hotels in port, so they can recommend the best ones that's going to have the most seamless experience from your hotel to the port. They can recommend experiences based on your family, right? They're going to get to know your family. So it's not just going on to a Disney Cruise Line Facebook group and seeing what other people recommend. It's someone who is an expert in this and who is going to really get to know your family well, so they can make recommendations based on your priorities, preferences, and price range, right? And most importantly, they can be your advocate if anything goes wrong. A good advisor helps you feel confident from start to sail. And you're not just planning a trip, you're creating memories that you and your kids will hold on to for years. So you get to actually enjoy that process. Be present in those memories. Are you ready to plan? Click below to schedule a free consultation and get access to our amazing team, because vacations shouldn't feel like work. They should feel like joy. So let's make yours feel unforgettable. If you know someone who is thinking about taking a Disney cruise, please be sure to share this video with them. Hit the bell for more content on Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, and incredible adventures across the globe with families in mind. And we know how busy family life can get. So we want to encourage you, whether you're booking a vacation with us or you just have a weekend without back-to-back birthday parties and soccer practices, remember to take a break from the busy. Those dishes will be waiting. Take a break, get into joy, and hopefully we'll see you on a Disney cruise real soon.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.